State when they're on the brink of their first NCAA tournament in 26 years when they have that type of motivation?
Well, they'll play hard. I mean, they've played hard all year, so it won't be a case of them playing any harder. Because I mean, Wayne does a tremendous job of getting his guys to compete and play hard. So I shouldn't say that. But when you got a veteran guy like Gary Payton, the second who plays hard, plays well, he's competing at a high level, and they have good young guys. They'll battle, but that's to be expected. I mean, they won't catch anybody off guard by if they competing and playing hard because you expect them to do that.
Having some more depth this year as opposed to last year, does that make you feel a little bit better just in this type of format?
Well, I think it helps, but it's a combination of good players, depth, making plays when you get in these type of settings. Because again, everybody knows everybody, so there's no new tricks. You don't have a lot of time to put a whole new system in. So just really executing, being sound defensively, making free throws, getting timely stops in games, and executing down the stretch.
Jalen was so good for you guys over that 7-game stretch. I mean, he's hitting over 40% from three, and then the last two games, I mean, 0 offensive rebounds, I think 10 total points, and only 5 made field goals. At this point in the season, when you thought he finally made a breakthrough, what hiccup did he?
I don't know if it's a hiccup. I just think it's it's 2 games. I thought all the guys were a step slow, especially in the first half at Arizona State. Just maybe after mentally drained after a tough loss on Thursday. But I mean, I think he's fine. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time with it. I think he'll be okay. I mean, just as long as he's getting shots, he's in the flow of the offense, he'll be fine.
Did it bother him? These last 2 games, did you get a sense that it bothered him that?
We lost the one game.
Well, that he had been such a non-factor in both.
I don't know if it bothered him. I think he would rather win than to get numbers. So I mean, I think any player that competes, if you don't play well, it bothers. But I don't think it's a case of we won the last game. He was happy about the win, but I don't think it's a case of, man, I didn't get numbers, because he never talks in those terms of production like that.
Brown on his unofficial when he visited Tennessee when you were there, was that his sophomore year?
He came. It was a couple times. It was both times like in the summertime. Around those times, he didn't really come during the school year because of his schedule and our schedule. But both times around summer times, yes. So I'd imagine like the sophomore year, somewhere around the yes. Mm-hmm.
How much does Jalen participate in the real talk? What does he bring to those sessions?
I think he brings what everybody else brings. I mean, it's an open forum, so I mean everybody's talking. So it's not necessarily one guy more than the other, but it depends on what the topic is. But he's always speaking in every setting. But again, it's specific to what we're talking about, and some guys speak more than others.
Yeah. Remember anything in particular he's brought kind of a different angle to you, how well read he is?
Not really. 'Cause all of them, I think all of them the same from that viewpoint. Very intelligent guys, and they have different angles. You just sometimes you don't see a lot of it with certain guys because they don't reveal a lot to the public. But not anything more than any other guy.
Jalen sure doesn't reveal a lot to us, but what does he reveal to you guys?
He's a good basketball player. He's a good kid, just like most of them.
Tracy mentioned that he remembered a conversation you had with Jalen on one of those Tennessee visits where you guys seemed to really connect beyond just basketball. Do you remember that?
Just talking, because again, he's and I say this because I think he has, as long as he stay healthy, he has a chance to have a very successful career in basketball. But he's also a guy that you can talk to, outside of basketball. But just conversation. It doesn't matter what it is, because he's willing to talk. He's willing to listen. He's not a guy that's everything about him is just basketball. There's more to it than that. And you have to be around him to know that. And I guess if you're not around him enough, he doesn't open up. He doesn't know you. But he's a very genuine guy, and you enjoy conversations with him because it's not just basketball.
Have you ever seen him play chess?
Yes. Last time I saw he and Coach Marcus Green were playing. I think they might have split, though, 1-1 when I watched. Yeah.
Is he pretty good, though?
I would imagine. I don't play chess, so I guess they split 1-1. So let him tell it. And Coach Marcus Green, both of them are great at it. So, but they split.
I know if you look at the numbers, his production dipped right around finals time, and I talked to someone who said that he thought that might have been correlated because he had a 20-page paper and he had a bunch of stuff going on. Do you think that might have been?
I think so. I think that was for quite a few guys, because again, you have to certainly put the time in here to make sure you get it done in the classroom, and they spend X amount of hours with tutors, writing papers, late night hours. And we cater our practice around it. And that time of year, we cut practice short because of that. Out of respect to those guys in the classroom. But yeah, I remember the 20-page paper. Yes.
Yeah, and that was a grad level course. What do you think it says about a freshman taking a grad level?
Well, he was committed to it because it wasn't easy, and he was committed to doing it, and he understood. We let him know ahead of time what to look forward to, and he was excited about it and did a great job in the classroom.
Cuonzo, Jabari has been a player that has been really great.
Mhm.
This last game, he was not much of a factor offensively. Was there anything that SU did, or was it just one of those?
No, I don't. Again, I thought Arizona State played well, but I think it was a game where most of our guys, especially in the first half, were a step slow, and you could see it. It was just one of those deals. Let's try to fight through this half and get out of here alive, so to speak. And once we settled down in the second half, guys played well. And I think more so in the second half was a matter of, like, we tried Roger, and Roger brought some energy. Matthews played well, made some shots. Sam was bringing energy. So it was more guys who were bringing energy. I don't necessarily think it was anything that Jabari didn't do. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on all Pac-12? You guys, Jalen got first team, and then Rob got second team, and then Wallace got honorable.
Any thoughts on it? Congratulations to those guys. I mean, they put the work and they put the time into it. I imagine if Tyrone was healthy throughout the year, he'd be first team guy. So, but it's great for those guys. I mean, to be freshmen and then receive those type of awards, man, that speaks volumes about their talent level and their work ethic, but more importantly, how they gel with their teammates.
What does it say that you guys are the top defensive team in the league, and you have no players on the all-defensive team, no player even got 3 votes? Is that a good thing?
For me, it's a good thing. I'd always like to have a guy. Now, I don't think we had a defensive player of the year on the team, without a doubt. But I think, in my opinion, Sam Singer should have been on that team. But I don't know if he wasn't a starter, so he didn't get the votes. But I think Sam should have been on that team. When you look at the other 5 guys, I mean, he should have been someone on that team. But that's part of it. I mean, the other 5 guys are good players, so you can't take anything away from those guys. But I just think it says something about our team because it is a team game. You play defense as a team, but it's part of it.
How much does it help your team to kind of have some close games going into like the Pac-12? You guys, Arizona State was close, Arizona. How much does it help you guys to kind of preparing for? Because you gotta expect turning time, games are gonna be tight. How much is that? How much?
Well, I just think more than anything, you've been through it, so you've seen it. It's not a case of being shell-shocked if it happens again. So you've been in those situations, but it still comes down to a matter of making plays. Because this time of year, you'll be in those situations more times than not if you're doing what you're supposed to do in a team that you're up against, or who we think they are. So you have to execute. You have to make free throws. Only difference, Arizona State, you make free throws down the stretch of the game, you win the game. But nobody will give you anything. But I think it helps because you've been through it. It's always good to go through something. So if it happens again, you have some level of prep work.
What area do you think this team has grown the most from when you first went to Vegas early in the season to where you guys are now?
Well, definitely completely on the defensive side of the ball. But it was also more me from the standpoint of giving Cameron Kingsley the opportunity. Because you look back, those guys should have been playing. Now you obviously have to earn everything you get, but those guys should have played more. And they're playing a lot better now than what they were playing at that particular time. But just because they're probably 2 of the biggest keys to our defensive improvement, Cameron and Kingsley, because they have a presence, big physical guys, really trying to protect the rim. And then just the growth of other guys continue to get better and better. And then what happens, you spend a lot of time going over the same reps over and over and over, and eventually guys figure it out and they become better at it. And I think that's probably the biggest key on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, just really understanding who is who. You have guys that can drive the ball. You have guys that catch and shoot guys that kind of inside-out guys. And just that takes time. I mean, I think that takes more time than anything because that's not an easy thing to make sacrifice offensively. And that doesn't mean you're a selfish person or player, but you have to make adjustments in order to have team success, and that's not an easy thing.
With Ivan and Jalen, given that they have so much experience in the All-Star circuit, national team, and all that, do you think that better prepares them for this type of format in the Pac-12 tournament?
Well, I think so. And again, it's still basketball. I mean, they've seen a lot of basketball. They played a lot of different venues, but I mean, I think the thing that helps them more is they've played against the opponents that we're playing against. And I've always said after the ball is tipped or maybe the first 5 minutes is basketball. Everybody probably plays with a level of nerves, but after the first 5 minutes and it's tipped, it's basketball.
Coach, Jalen had fouled out during the Arizona game. 4 of his fouls came on the offensive end. How as a coach do you manage that on the sideline? Tell him to be aggressive, yet being weary of fouls, and have you looked at the tape, maybe with Jalen talking about, if you do that, they're going to call that every time, or?
Well, I just think what happens, and the same way with Tyrone, a lot of cases when you extend the arm. I mean, you look at some of the calls. I mean, the game's over now. It is what it is. But I think when you extend the arm, the thing we talk about is getting your hips around and get your shoulders around the guy, and you got to get past him because you don't want to leave any doubt when a guy's in front of you or somewhat close to you, and then you extend your arms, and that's obviously a ref's call to make. But so again, use his quickness, use his strength to get around guys, and then go up.
Does it help in putting Jalen into pick and roll situation to sort of get him going downhill? Maybe he's got a little edge.
Yeah, got to get him moving.
You started doing that more in the last few games, using him in pick and roll.
Yeah, if he's not getting in transition, you want to get him where he's moving because he can make plays toward the rim or at least get fouled, and just really that keeps him aggressive. But if he's flowing in the game, he doesn't need that. That's fine. But you got to get him where he's involved in the game. He's engaged. Yes.
When in this type of situation, how big is it having a guy like Tyrone who's battle tested and can come in down the stretch like you did?
Well, it helps a great deal. I mean, even at Arizona State, just making plays. Because he's a guy that can't make one-on-one plays, and you always have to identify your shooters on the floor and your big guys around the rim. But when Tyrone is making his free throws, he's making shots like that. Very, very tough guy to defend, especially at that position at being 6'5".
As a coach, how fun is it to watch the film or watch from the sideline when your guys in the zone like that?
Oh, just keep rolling. I mean, because he was playing well. Just really, we needed him because I felt like he looked fresh. He was ready to go. And just in the second half, we needed that production to keep putting pressure on the defense. Don't allow those guys to set their defense. Keep putting pressure on those guys because they're playing 7 guys, even though they're playing well. But just let's try to get this thing down the last 2 or 3 minutes. Let's see who can win this fight.
How much did last season help him just in terms of adjusting to the role of being the kind of go-to guy? Because last year was his first year doing that, and do you feel like now because of that last year that he's even more comfortable doing what he's been able to do in some of the
Well, I think so, but you can't change who you are. He's a guy that scores the ball. He plays the point for us, but he's a guy that scored. I don't want him to lose that part. I mean, because I don't necessarily talk about Tyrone go out and try to get 10 assists again. We talk about make the right play, whatever that play is. I mean, he's not a robot. He has the playoff instincts. But, I'd rather him score than try to get 10 assists because that's what he does. He can score the basketball, and that's how he puts pressure on the defense. That's how he's able to make plays.
Going to Vegas, is curfew a little tighter? Do you keep watching the guys a little bit more than the road trip?
No. Again, it doesn't change for us. I mean, when you have a program and a coach, it's every day. It's not okay. Now when we get here, we'll do this. That's every day, and they understand. I mean, we talk about all those things, but I mean, it won't change from any other time we're on a road trip. Now, obviously, the people that are around the hotels and those sorts of things, but our administration will make sure that we put our guys in the best situation where they're not getting involved with certain things. But no, it doesn't change a lot for what we do.
Any thoughts on the 8:45 p.m. tip-off? Does maybe help to play games at an hour that you're more used to playing at versus like an earlier, or is that not
I don't think it matters at this point. You have to go out there and play the basketball game. I mean, I think the more rest we can get, the better we are because it's such a quick turnaround. You just left a road trip. You're right back on a plane tomorrow. You're right back at it. So as much as we can get off our feet, it's always a good thing for us.
Your last question?
Yeah, Cuonzo, how much did you struggle before early in the season with keeping Cam and King on the bench and playing Ivan at the 5? Because you talked about wanting to play 2 bigs, and then the season started and basically one.
Well, I think we struggled as a team, but I didn't struggle losing any sleep because I didn't think they played well enough. But it was a combination of them not playing at the level they were capable of playing, and also, yes, but also you were playing with smaller teams, and it's so hard for those guys. But I think moving forward, what they've shown is their ability when you play against smaller teams, they've gotten better at moving. And it's not an easy thing for those guys that big. I mean, but they've earned it, so they have to be on the floor for us to be successful.